watching Medfield TV, community shows.
Hello Medfield, and welcome to the newest edition of Happenings in Medfield. At this point, we're at the Happenings at the Center, and the director, Roberta Lynch, will give us a pretty good idea of what's been going on in the place and what's going to happen in the future. There's always a lot of stuff going on up here. So Roberta, fill us in.
Sure, I will, but first it's nice to have the taping right here in our own library, which is kind of special. We haven't done this for a while. So let's just talk about our yard sale, the Fosse yard sale that was held on April 28th, and what a smashing success. It was absolutely unbelievable. The amount of items that were donated by community members was overwhelming. It was wonderful, and the number of people that actually worked the sale, as we just commented, how much work it is to sort through everything, clean everything, price everything, and then merchandise it so it actually looks like somewhat of a department store, but a little messier than that.
Because they had it all sorted out. It was great.
We have it all sorted out. Different tables. We had signs for all the different departments, so to speak. So it was wonderful. And the best news about it is that we made over $8,000. Which is the best we've ever done. I think the most we done back about 5-6 years ago was $5,500. So this is just over the top for us.
A record breaker. That's good.
It sure is. And what's even better than that is when the yard sale was winding down, Medfield, a gentleman came in, a wonderful family in town, and he went in and he asked me how much you bring in. I said, well, I really don't know. Bob Heald is in the back room counting. He went into the back room and said, have Roberta call me on Monday and let me know what you brought in and I'll match it. So our $8,000 turned to about $16,000.
Nice, just like that.
Like that. It was
Miracle.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's very, very nice.
So it's wonderful. So what are we doing with that money? It's a sort of a joke. Fosse always says I know how to spend their money. So we have a new display refrigerator in the dining hall, so that if people want soda or water or yogurt or something, we'll have that in there. It's just $1 an item, and just pay the receptionist. And so that's available during the summer if anybody gets thirsty and forgot to bring their water bottle for exercise. So that's one thing. So the refrigerator is lovely. We've ordered a Weber grill because our grill has been repaired several times over the last few years, and it's time to have a new one for our cookouts and the events coming up. So that should arrive this week, and we're very thankful to Will's Hardware. So we worked with them for this grill, and that's great. And then we have a few other ideas in mind for how to use all that wonderful money and to make the place a little better and helpful, and it's all good.
Spending money is easy. Making money is hard.
Wow, that wasn't so hard. I mean, it was just it was wonderful.
The thing I liked watching the people work at it is they were having fun. You could hear them laughing. It was social. It was like having a little party before.
Right.
It was very, very pleasant to hear it.
It's a week worth of people coming together for one cause. You're right, socializing, just being a team to make it happen. It's really, and it's a fun day. On the Thursday before the yard sale, the Council on Aging brings everyone over to Chicky Flynn's, the restaurant that hosts us every month. And so we treat everyone to lunch. And then, of course, during the yard sale, it's our routine always to order 10 pizzas, and everybody, all the workers have lunch. It's just a fun day. So if anyone wants to get involved, that's one great way to get involved and meet people, is during the yard sale planning and working the week before. It's great.
Good.
Yeah, so after the yard sale, after the yard sale was town meeting. And town meeting was, we had Article 15 on town meeting to start the process for an addition. And I know a lot of people say, well, why do you need an addition? But for example, today we have the Shine counselor in, but we don't have space for her in our room or any rooms available. So she's actually in Susan's office. It's lucky that Susan isn't here today, so that we have private space for the Shine counselor to work with her clients. But so anyhow, Article 15 was pulled at 10:45 p.m. on the second night of town meeting, and so didn't go in our favor, which is fine. But it's just nice to throw it out there that we are growing, serving close to 1,000 people every year. People who come in. Some come in once a year, maybe for their taxes. Some people come in every day. Some people come in a couple times a day. So we are a very busy center. But anyhow, we'll work again next year, maybe.
There were many other projects on the budget this year, so I think that's one of the reasons it was a very tough year.
Whatever the reason is, it happened for a reason, and there's no, we're all good with it. We know we have a great building here, but we know that, we are going to, as the population grows, which it is going to grow with all the development, that it's going to get even busier here, and so we're just, planning for the future.
Yep.
So just like every other department plans for the future. So
absolutely,
we're just advocating for our people who use the center here. So that's a good thing. So June's newsletter went out today in the mail, so everybody should get it tomorrow or Wednesday. And going back to town meeting, don't want to keep talking about that, but Selectman Gus Murby had approached me right after town meeting, and he wants to do a couple of town meeting recap presentations, talk about the ballot questions that are coming up on June 11th. And so those two presentations, there are two presentations, one in the evening and one in the afternoon, is Monday, June 4th at 6:30 p.m. and then Tuesday, June 5th at 2:30 p.m. And his message is right on the front of the June newsletter for people, so you can read about it and it's really just to get a better understanding of the ballot questions.
Yeah, and that's why I interviewed the other day. I interviewed Mark Sorrell, who's the town council.
Yep.
Who's lived here for a long time. He's a member of the planning board, which is how I first knew him. We were on the first hospital reuse committee together. So we have many things, but he was talking about not how he felt about any of the articles, but what was going to happen and what would happen if they all pass. It'll be a 10% increase in the taxes, but they're each separate. He's got the building articles all separate, easy to differentiate from one to the other.
Yeah.
So he did explain it, and I believe they're going to run it several times before June 11th.
Yeah. Good.
Because he's not a resident anymore, so it doesn't matter what he thinks.
Right.
So he's going just black. This is what it is.
Sure. Exactly. So I think that's great. I think the more information people have about what they're voting for,
absolutely,
the more informed you are, the better you are to make a good decision. So so that's coming up. That's a big thing happening the beginning of June. I do have to refer to my newsletter because I'm still in May, and now I'm talking about June, so it gets a little confusing.
And then comes July.
And then, there comes July. But so one thing we have going on is a trial June 18th. That's a Monday afternoon from 2 to 3:30. It's senior archery. So we have On the Mark Archery is going to come up and set up in our hall. Maybe outside if it's a beautiful day, and seniors are going to be exposed to archery, and
I took archery lessons when I was a kid.
Then you ought to sign up for it.
With my eyes?
Everybody
in here would be
probably
dead.
do better than anybody.
No way, everybody would be dead. I would never touch it.
I don't know.
But it was
about
fun. We
that.
did it at the Y. It was kind of a requirement they made us when we started. We wanted to join the Y to learn how to swim when we were young, but basically we did the archery first, and it was kind of fun. It was very different.
Yeah, Mark, the gentleman who owns the company, said it's been received with rave reviews at other council on agings, and of course I know like park and recreation departments, they have archery for the kids, and so anyhow we're going to give it a shot and see if people are interested.
Why not?
Yeah, something different. So we always have our Romeo and Juliet outings, and just this past Friday, I took a group of ladies out to Lowell's Restaurant in Mendon for lunch, and the ladies have decided that they would rather just do lunch rather than go to a museum or something like that. So right now, during the summer months, we'll just be doing lunches, which is nice. So if you're interested, the next Juliet outing is on June 22nd. And that actually, if it's good weather, we're going to go to the zoo in Mendon. If it's bad weather, then we're going to go out to lunch. And the Romeo, the gentlemen, are going to the Attleboro Area Industrial Museum, and they're going on Friday, June 15th. The men seem to like the museums, or they like the brewery trips.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do.
Those are their favorites, yeah. So that's coming up. Just want to talk a little bit about our Saturday program that we have. So we're 3 months into the Saturday program. It was a grant for 10 months. And I think it's, I'm not here anymore. I was here the month of March on Saturdays, and so now the staff are, Elaine and Christina are they're aware of what the program is and how to run it, and I think I looked at the survey forms that I created and they handed out on Saturday, and everybody seems to love having a Saturday option.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have made almost everyone. I missed a few when I was dog sitting.
Yep.
And I didn't want to leave the dog alone for that long.
Sure.
So I stayed home for those days. But I've been there, I think, almost every other day, and they do a great job.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. So I guess the question after the grant runs out December 31st is if there's a big interest in the Saturday programs. I'm going to have to brainstorm and think, how can we keep this going for people? Because I really do think, I've received a couple of cards, from people who just sent me cards personally saying how much the Saturday program added to their life and how much they look forward to it, because the weekends are, sometimes long.
Mm-hmm.
So that is nice to hear, and so we'll have to do some brainstorming to think, how are we going to be able to continue to have the Saturdays and make them happen.
Maybe that's where your yard sale money could go.
It could.
How expensive is it?
Well, you're paying for staff, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking maybe it drops to twice a month, possibly. There are lots of things, so I don't. It depends. And then the lunch program, you have to find out if the lunch program is covering the cost of the food, that
Sure.
sort of thing. So there's a lot of work going to be involved in figuring that out. So I have a few more months for that. But there's a possibility to write another grant. And they said that they would only fund a continuation grant if the town would pick up the cost of the program, if there was a big potential that the town would pick it up. So, that's next budget season. So we'll think about that. Lots to think about.
It is, sure.
Lots to think about. Okay, so moving on. One thing we have coming up on a Saturday, which is Saturday, June 16th at 10:30, is the Coalition, Medfield Coalition for Suicide Prevention. They've had a couple of trainings already in town, and they're going to have one on June 16th here at 10:30. So that's open to the public. Anyone interested in gathering information. Lisa Donovan has already attended one of their trainings, and she thought it was very helpful and informative. So anyone at all interested, just sign up. We'll have the sign-up sheets out in a day, so that it's open to everyone.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I was an EMT for a long time,
Yeah.
and I was on call for several suicides, and I
Yeah.
still have trouble passing by some of the houses
Sure.
and seeing the parents. It's horrible. It's
Yeah.
a horrible, horrible way for anybody to go. So if we could prevent that, I think it would be absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it would be wonderful, for sure.
It's a heartbreak for the parents, and for anybody in the family, for the brothers, the sisters, the grandparents, it's
Yeah.
spouses.
Yeah, so definitely that training is available to anyone, so we welcome anyone to come in and sign up for that training. It's great. It'd be great. The other thing we have is coming up is the YMCA Diabetes Prevention Program presentation. And this is through the Hockomock YMCA, and they've been in a few times during the winter, just canvassing people, finding out the interest for this. It's actually a year-long program. It is covered by Medicare, and it's for people over 60 and older. So they're having a presentation on Thursday, June 21st at 12:30 p.m. So if you have a history of prediabetes, or you yourself have prediabetes, it's definitely worth coming in and listening to the presentation and see if you qualify for the program. There are some guidelines for qualifying for it, but it should be very interesting because it's a very in-depth program, and it does really last for a whole year. You're not meeting every week for a year. I think the first 2 or 3 months you meet weekly, and then it backs down. So that's another thing we have coming up. And let me see. So we're almost in summer. Well, it feels like summer today. Finally,
It won't be tomorrow, but it is today.
after so many months of miserable weather. But so we have our summer cookout scheduled, which. I think this is our, what did I say here? Our 8th year of summer cookouts. Hard to believe. And so our first cookout is June 6th, and we have Roach Brothers has sponsored the cookout. So I'm not sure what we'll be grilling on our new grill, but we will have Jeff Jarvis here, and also Jeff will be bringing his photo booth, so dress any way you want and make sure you have your picture taken. So that will be a fun evening.
Unfortunately, that's the same night as the Lions Club finishing their year's work. So that's a fancy dinner, a long menu, but it's a long list of things.
Well, we have competition then that night, but that's okay.
Yeah, the first Wednesday of the month is always Lions Club in my heart. I love it.
Yep. Wednesday, June 27th. It's the cookout is sponsored by Rehabilitative Associates out of Norwood, and we have the big band sounds of Old Kids on the Block, and that's about an 18-piece orchestra that'll be here. Wednesday, July 18th, it is sponsored by Home Instead Senior Care, and we have the talented Robert Black performing. And Wednesday, August 8th, no, we do not have a sponsor yet for that cookout, but we have Tad Travis, our great DJ, plays great music. And then Wednesday, August 29th, we have entertainment by the Toon Timers Swing Band.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah, so we have a lot going on. Yeah, and I think it's great. So anyhow, a little bit about the building. I wish since we're here, I was thinking that if I had talked at first, we could take the cameras and go on back and show everybody our beautiful patio. See, we have a group of women and men that are our garden group, and it's just absolutely lovely in the backyard and the front. Everything is just looking beautiful. They work so hard. Planting the garden behind the bocce court is just beautiful, and our raised flower bed is now part herbs and part vegetables.
Oh.
So it's just lovely back there. Yeah, so it's a pretty great place.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's a very good place. Any other thoughts on the center?
No, do you have any increase in membership?
Every day there's a person coming in and signing up.
Wow. How many, any idea how many have already signed?
For this year?
Yeah.
No, I don't have that number in my head, but we have so far, well, in fiscal year 17, 915, and since then we've added
Some more.
a lot. But you know, part of our numbers, you can't even track like the adult children who come in who have a question about
That's
mom
true.
and dad, you know, so, or the people who come in for the equipment, or, you know, for the shine counseling, or for their taxes, you know, it's just, there's so much that is offered, it's pretty amazing.
Speaking of adult children, do you have a list at your place for family members for any of us that might fall or might be a little disoriented or losing their balance or whatever? Anybody in their family to call?
So when you sign up for the scan card, for the My Senior Center scan card,
Okay.
the information that you put on that is an emergency contact and phone number. So we do have,
For everybody?
well, for everybody who gives us that information, you know. So we usually update it. If we don't have it, we have a volunteer who comes in and goes through the My Senior Center and makes sure things are intact. If there's information needed, then, you know, she tells us and we follow through and get the information and we add it into the computer. But that's our source of accessing emergency contacts is through the My Senior Center, that scan card, which is so important for people to scan in. So our numbers generate the how busy we are, you know.
Because I have a health alert gadget here. They're here
Sure.
around my neck. But if I'm disoriented, I wouldn't know enough to push it. So I would just hope
Right.
that somebody else would be alerted when call one of my kids.
Right. Well, I'm going to say this to you, Ann. If you became disoriented and you were not yourself, my first call would be to 911. And then I
Okay.
would call family.
Okay.
So that's how I would handle it here, you know. But I do know what you're saying. It is important to have emergency contacts
I think
for
it's
everybody.
really important. I really do.
Yeah. So in fact, we're going on a overnight trip to the Jersey Shore, June 11th, and I am asking all the participants, at least from Medfield, I don't know about the other town we're traveling with, to have their file of life, just a small version,
Absolutely.
filled out in their wallet or pocketbook, because it's so important. If something were to happen on that trip, you need, you know, even myself, I need to have one. God
Sure.
forbid something, you know, you just need to have that information.
Where are you going in New Jersey?
So we're going to the Jersey Shore.
Where? Which part?
Well, you know, I
I used to spend my summers.
oh, well, then you know it way better than me. When I get back, I'll tell you all about it. But I know we're doing we're going to Cape May.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I know that we have a day trip to Atlantic City,
And Ocean City too?
not Ocean
Okay.
City. And I know that we're visiting a winery.
Okay.
And then that's all I can recall.
One thing I liked about the Jersey Shore is you can walk forever on the Jersey Shore from town to town. Up in New England you can't. But in Jersey you could walk for 10, 15 miles and hours,
Wow.
and I think, and just keep running into different towns. It was
Yeah.
wonderful.
I've never been there, so it'll be a nice nice place to visit.
Well, I grew up in
think.
Philadelphia, so it was an easy run.
Yeah.
Go across the bridge and,
Yeah, yeah.
and there you were.
And talking about that particular trip, I was very happy that we're going with another group, so the trip could happen. But we have 30 people going from Medfield, which is nice.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but we do have some other trips coming up. Let me just find my sheet here. Oh, here they are. Yep. So Wednesday, July 11th, we have a Spirit of Boston trip, which is Boston Harbor Cruise and Lunch. Thursday, August 16th, we're going up to Maine for a bull and claw lobster bake.
Oh, geez.
Yep. That sounds yummy. Thursday, September 20th, we're going to New Hampshire for the chocolate and wine tasting tour.
You got me with the chocolate.
There we go. No wine?
Oh, I like wine too, but I
Okay.
like chocolate much better.
Okay. Thursday, October 11th, we're going to the Old Mill and Tower Hill Gardens Foliage Special. And then Monday, 31st, we're going to try this again this year. Last year it got canceled because of the weather. It was like, if you recall, on New Year's Eve, it was like a -5 or something. It was freezing. New Year's at noon on the Boston Odyssey for a harbor cruise.
Yep,
We
yeah.
did that 2 years ago, and it was so much fun, just a blast. So that's what we have lined up for day trips. So if anyone's interested in day trips, definitely come in. We have flyers here. You take home. You can sign up at the receptionist at the desk. Those are good ways just to take a day off for yourself and relax. And
It sounds
have some
good.
Fun. Yeah.
There's some great trips. Who gives you the ideas?
The book.
The book.
The book. There's a book of ideas.
Okay.
But, you know, sometimes it's what I think. I try not to do the same from the previous summer or year. You know, just try to look for something different.
You do a good job because that's a good variety you have
Yeah,
right there.
that's pretty good. I think that'll be wonderful. Yeah.
You have anything else to report to the people at home?
No, it's just that, so I continue to hear that people say, oh, I can't go there because it's the senior center, but talking to someone who was at the desk today, and I said that to her, she goes, I know, I can't believe people say that, and I just, you know, welcome people to come in and just, you know, come in, do an exercise class. We have 14 classes a week. They're great classes, they're economical, and you never know, you may find that it's not what you think it is when you get in here.
You know, some people do still refer to it as a senior center, even though when
Right.
it started, you guys were very emphatic, don't call it that, call it the center.
Right, but you get almost tired of hearing, oh, I'm not going to go there because it's a senior
I
center,
know.
that you just end up saying, you call it a senior center because that's what people think it is, but the reality, it offers so much.
So much more than that.
So much more.
It
And
does.
a lot of supportive services for people as they age, for sure. I mean, that's one of the things that is most important, but it's just a great social place, a great place to go, and you know, I hope that people would, you know, come in and give it a try.
I hope they do too.
Yep.
If they're wasting something, if they don't,
Right.
we're all paying for it, we might as well use
Might
it.
as well use it, absolutely. So we welcome everyone and anyone.
Okay, well, thanks.
Okay.
And you at home, thank you for watching Medfield TV and listening to the events at the center this year and this month, and many, many months to come, I hope. I hope they'll be here long after I'm here. But Roberta and the staff do a marvelous job. They really do. They're really good people, and they make it fun for everybody. So please come give the center a try, and definitely keep watching Medfield TV and watch every happenings all over the town, because there's a lot going on. Again, thanks for watching Medfield TV.
Medfield TV, community shows.